Hi, I'm Karen Morgan. I'm a volunteer with AARP Maryland, and I'm here with another in a series of conversations being brought to you by Protect Week. Protect Week is from June 13th to June 18th of this year, and it's a campaign to highlight the issues and problems associated with elder financial fraud abuse. And AARP Maryland is one of a number of organizations, government, social service, advocacy business organizations that band together to stop this tragic situation. Protect Week is in its fourth year. And with that, I would like to introduce our speaker, who is Sue Rogan. She is Director of Strategic Partnerships with the Cash Campaign of Maryland. And CASH stands for Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope. Sue heads CASH's efforts to provide professional development to practitioners, and she works with overseas special projects, and she helps to train people on different aspects of economic empowerment, and she works on a number of boards and commissions. So, Sue, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really happy to have the perspective of the Cash Maryland campaign. It's really important.
Thanks so much, Karen. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
So let me just start out with the basic question. What is the Cash Campaign of Maryland, and what services do you offer to older adults?
Sure, thank you. So you did a real good job of saying what the CASH stands for in our name. Hope is probably my favorite part of it. We are a nonprofit organization working across Maryland to provide different programs and services to help people build their financial well-being. One of them is free tax preparation. Similar to your program, we provide tax preparation services to families who earn under $57,000 a year. And we use that moment at tax to really connect them to other services and programs as well. So we work with partners across Maryland to provide this service. We also have financial education, which is coordinated through our website, www.mdcashacademy.org. It's really meant to be the one place that consumers can go look to find fact-based, credible financial education that's not selling any products or services. We screen all of the educators and all of the curriculum. So of course, they're all webinars right now, but we can have anywhere between 50 to 70 webinars a month. People can take whatever topic around personal finance that they're interested in. We also provide a Bank on Maryland program, which helps to provide people with certified accounts, or basically accounts that are very safe and don't have a burden fees and a lot of parameters around them. So it's a very safe account that people can use at 11 different institutions across Maryland, and different programs and services to really help people build their knowledge and their skills around handling their finances.
That's great. What a wide range of services. So that and 50 to, we are just getting a comment, this 50 to 70 webinars per month, that's amazing, and that's a huge resource that I hope people will take advantage of. So how do people qualify? Do you offer one-on-one services, and if you do, how do people qualify? Are there any cost involved?
So the tax preparation services are all free. The only qualification there is that the household has to earn $57,000 or less a year. The financial education classes are open to anyone. We do have two financial coaching, or one's financial coaching, one financial planning program. And again, these are open. It's generally targeting our low to moderate income individuals here in Maryland. But the coaching program is where someone can work one-on-one with a virtual coach. They're going to download an app and be able to receive messages through the app on their phone with their coach, and they can work for them as long as they'd like to be able to reach the goals that they've set for themselves. And the financial planning program is where we have certified financial planners, or CFPs, who actually donate their time to us, and people can work with them to create a personalized financial plan by working with them to up to 2 times. So both of those are one-on-one programs as well. We also do benefit screening for people who maybe think that at this time things have changed for them and they've maybe never applied for public benefits before, or they just want to reassess where they are. People can reach out to us and we can help them determine their eligibility for a variety of different public programs.
Wow, okay, that's great. So when you're working with people, um, I'm sure you've come across examples of financial fraud that affect older adults. So what have you seen in your experience?
So unfortunately, it runs the gamut. We certainly see tax identity theft from our tax sites where someone is actually filing a tax return in someone else's name, attempting to get a return or refund that, they're not due to get, but because of the tax identity theft, they're able to get it. So we work with people to remedy that. We also really encourage people to file taxes earlier rather than later so they get their return in first. So it's really them versus the scammer. We've also seen, unfortunately, a lot of scams relating to the pandemic. So one particular lady contacted us and she was actually just trying to cancel a flight that she couldn't go on this trip because the pandemic happened and somehow got diverted to the wrong website. And long story short, ended up spending $40,000 in gift
No.
cards
Oh no.
trying to handle this situation. And it just went from bad to worse. And it was very hard for her to figure out what point was she being scammed versus I'm going to continue this and be able to somehow remedy the situation. We've also seen tech support help as people have been working from home and learning from home. Something pops up and they say, hey, there's a problem here. If you click on this, we can help you resolve it. That's not the way to handle it. So it's really run the gamut and very frustrating and very sad that people are taking advantage of others at this time.
Yeah, I've even heard about some scam making its way now from the Department of supposedly from a Department of Transportation saying, we need your driver's license information. You need to put in your birth date and your weight and your height. And it's like a text message or an email, and people think they're doing it. Your license is about to expire, it's about to be suspended. None of it's true. But people have, but scammers are doing that now. So it's happened in Maryland and some other states. Um,
Absolutely.
so here's a question from our chat. What advice do you have for those who've been scammed out of hundreds or thousands of dollars and can't get it back due to legal geographic barriers?
So I believe what the person's probably referring to is that all law enforcement agencies, consumer protection agencies or state's attorneys, they have jurisdictions that they have to work within. So the Maryland Attorney General's office, has the jurisdiction of Maryland. So any transactions that happen in Maryland fall under, if it's consumer protection, fall under their jurisdiction. So if a consumer went to Virginia, bought a car, had a problem with that car, Maryland doesn't have the legal jurisdiction to handle it. So the recommendation I would say is to perhaps try the jurisdiction for the area in which the purchase happened, or see if any federal resources could be available in terms of the Federal Trade Commission or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau if they have jurisdiction. But you're absolutely right. You have to figure out who has jurisdiction over that business that has then scammed the person.
Right. Yeah. And that can be hard. And here's another comment from our chat. Thanks for everything you're doing to help people remedy their situations. It's so important because if your money's gone, you're getting to very significant survival questions, and it's a huge service that you all are providing to people who need it the most.
Right. And sometimes I think people don't necessarily know where to go. So the first resource for sure is always the consumer protection agencies. And in Maryland, we have two county ones, Howard County and Montgomery. And then the Attorney General's office, Consumer Protection Division, covers the state. So it's always worth going to them to see if they can be of assistance. But there may be other agencies that have jurisdiction, such as the Department of Labor or the Financial Regulation Commission. So
Right.
again, figuring out who has that regulatory authority over that industry and going to that body to get help.
Are there things that the Cash campaign does to proactively teach the people that you work with on how to avoid scams?
Absolutely. And that is the point of our webinars, is to get the information out to people before they've lost it. Because as I know from being a former consumer protection investigator, it's much harder to get that money back than it is to never have given it out. So certainly we want to be proactive. We have information on our website that is specific to the pandemic in terms of, resources for housing so that people aren't getting into a relationship with someone who says they can help them, but they're not really helping them. So we have information on the website, we have the webinars, and then we're actually getting emails and calls from just people just randomly calling to say, here's what happened to me, what should I do? And then we sort of triage and figure out who has the authority over it, because We're a nonprofit. We're not a law enforcement agency, but we know the ones that are out there. So we refer people to those.
Okay, that's great. And can you just give us some ideas of things older adults can do to protect themselves from financial fraud? Maybe some red flags to watch out for?
Absolutely. And the first strategy that I talk with older adults about too is to pick someone in their life who they trust as being reputable and honest. Maybe it's family, maybe it's not, but pick someone that when you get a call that seems a little questionable, that you call, it's like calling a friend or calling that lifeline, on that game show and stuff. Call this person to see, does this sound odd to you? Because it sounds odd to me. So having that sort of resource in place before any of these calls start coming in can be very helpful. But then the biggest thing I really try to work with older adults on is, as much as you might want to talk to someone or be polite to someone, if someone's calling you and they're asking you for any bits of personal information, whether a phone call, email, text, anything, don't give it out. Absolutely not. We've had people say, as I think you were mentioning too, like they just ask for a piece of data, like the birthday.
Mhm.
And they think, oh, a birthday is not that personally identifying. What people are doing then are putting in bits and pieces of information together, right, to create that profile for that person. So no information goes out to them, and that they're really thinking, not necessarily being afraid or scared, but just being cautious. When
Mhm.
someone is trying to attempt to rush them into something, giving them information or buying something, anytime someone is trying to push someone too hard, that's a tactic that is just classic of what scammers are trying to do. They're trying to
Right.
frustrate you. They're trying to, rattle you and be able to get something out of you. Just stop and don't do it.
Or they're trying to just sort of like get you to be afraid of missing out, fear of missing out. It's like, oh my God, I might miss this great deal if I don't act right away. And it's like,
Right.
no, no,
Yeah.
stop, hold
Yeah.
on, back away from the deal, you know?
Always worth 24 hours, right? It's always worth 24
Exactly.
hours.
Exactly, exactly. Well, can you tell us the name of the Cash Academy website again? We saw it as a banner across the screen, but can you repeat it? Just and it's also on our screen again, but just run it by us one more time.
Sure. It's www.mdcashacademy.org. You go on there and you click on Find a Class, and you can go through all the different webinars. We have great partners from across the state that are providing these. They're all for free. And again, they're all not selling any products or services or recommending a particular company. They're just information, because we know it's hard to learn about managing money and protecting yourself. And protecting yourself is a big piece of managing money.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Sue. We really appreciate you having you on the show. Thank you for all the services you provide. Sue Rogan, Director of Strategic Partnerships for the Cash Campaign of Maryland. And with that, we will bid you adieu, but be careful out there, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks so much.